In January 2020, millions of families in China were coming together to celebrate the Lunar New Year, the most important holiday of the year. At the same time, COVID-19 was beginning to spread in the city of Wuhan. The country was faced with a previously unknown challenge. Guided by science, the Chinese people and government came together to fight the virus at an impressive speed and scale. Here is what China did to break the chain of infection. As a first task, Chinese scientists quickly isolated the genetic sequence of the coronavirus and shared it with the world. This allowed other countries to develop their own testing kits and begin vaccine research. To contain the virus, Wuhan was placed into lockdown on January 23rd. It remained so for the next 76 days. This decisive action saved the lives of millions. Infrastructure was also needed, so in a record-breaking 10 days, 2 full hospitals were built with a total capacity of 2,600 beds. Medical support was then mobilized. In the early days of the epidemic, more than 40,000 medical workers from across China left their families during the holidays and went to Wuhan. Another 1,800 medical teams were organized. They visited homes and checked 10.5 million people for symptoms. During this process, all patients were guaranteed free treatment, either through state subsidies or basic medical insurance. Under the guidance of the state, the public and private sectors came together to increase the production of medical equipment. Within 1 month, China increased its production of personal protective equipment, or PPE, by nearly 2,000%, from 10,000 to 200,000 units a day. By the end of March, the production of test kits had increased 5.5 times to 4.2 million kits per day. The Chinese people also organized themselves as volunteers, going door to door, reaching over 60 million people. Through the neighborhood committees, these volunteers did a variety of tasks. They checked temperatures, delivered food and medical supplies, took care of the elderly, cleaned isolation units, and drove medical workers.
我早上去医院的时候天还没亮呢，我晚上回去的时候天黑了。
我跟你说，我看到他以后，我真的情绪变了。他们真是这样子奉献，哎呦，我很感动。真的只有中国有这样的这么好的青年，放下一切，从那么老远跑到这里干这么脏的活。
53 of these volunteers would die from exposure to COVID-19. 49 of them were members of the Communist Party. Even now, as cities reopen and come back to life, China remains vigilant. When new clusters of COVID-19 were detected in Wuhan after the lockdown had ended, the city took on a massive testing campaign of its residents. Over 10 million people were tested in 19 days. As of the end of May, a total of 83,017 confirmed cases had been reported on the Chinese mainland. 4,634 people had died. This means that China had a cure rate of 94.3%. It was through deploying the country's resources, its planned economy, and socialist culture and institutions that the chain of infection was broken. Read our study, China and Coronashock, at thetricontinental.org.